Oh boy, places next story in the you have to see it to believe it file. Who knew that you could grow vegetable, herbs, and even flowers from rock? Now, I tell you who knew. Agricultural geologist Richard Campbell. He's the founder of Geological, Agriculture to Soil Less Consulting, and is here now to tell us about it all and how it works. Welcome to Voices this morning, Richard.
Glad to be here.
Man, good to have you, man. I'm astonished right now. When I heard about this, I'm like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
You cannot do this with rock. So let's begin by explaining your title. What is an agricultural geologist?
So a geological agriculturalist is a person that uses rocks to grow plants without soil and fertilizer. And so we figured out how to harness the mineral value of rocks to grow your plants instead of using soil. So that's what a geoagist is.
Man, this is amazing to me. So how did you make this discovery? How did you come about this? And then explain how this works.
You know, it was an accidental discovery over 25 years ago. My grand uncle, that's my mother's grandfather, my mother's uncle, dropped some watermelon seeds and some rocks, and the next spring out popped a watermelon and grew to full term. Wow. And so I was there at the house. He says, "Hey, Richard, come out and explain to me why I'm looking at this watermelon." I go outside and I'm like, "Boss, the watermelon is growing in the roots under those rocks." He says, "No, that's impossible. That's fabric and rocks on top." I did a landscaping project last fall. I ate some watermelons to celebrate, spit out some seeds, went back inside, went through the winter, came back, now I see this watermelon.
No way.
Why am I looking at this watermelon, Richard? And I said, well, I looked back, I saw the roots, it was growing across the fabric, and I came up with the notion, well, the rocks must be providing food for that watermelon. And he says, no, that's impossible. And I was like, one, we're looking at it.
Yeah.
But two, think of it this way. Rocks are minerals. Number one, minerals are nutrients, and nutrients are fertilizers. They're at least cousins. So he took that one statement, and for 10 years, grew rocks and plants for the neighborhood, like these peas are growing in rocks here. Then in 2008, after my grandmother died, my mom asked me to do a feasibility study of the land. My granduncle said, come back to Nashville with your mother. I got two questions to ask. Got back to Nashville. I was like, what's these two questions? You got us all the way from New York and Charleston. What are we doing? He says, Richard, question number one, can you help me figure out what's going on in my garden? I was like, help me figure out what's going on in your garden. You've been growing in your garden for 10 years. How?
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's like, all I'm working on is your statement back in 1994 that said rocks and minerals are nutrients, and nutrients are fertilizers. That's all I got.
Right.
And I've been growing food for the neighborhood for 10 years. And now I'm watching this famine on TV.
That's right.
And it was an Ethiopian famine that year. And so I was like, okay. Before I answer, what's your second question? He's like, can you take it to the people?
Yeah.
These rocks, I see this famine on TV, and they're walking past rocks. Something tells me that those rocks could feed those people. And so I'm like, who do I call to help those rocks on this TV feed the people on the TV?
That's right.
I said, I'm going to call my grandnephew, Richard. And he gave me the call, and I was like, whoa, you want me to figure out what's going on in your garden with these rocks and then make it available for the people all over the world?
That's right.
He was like, that's right. I was like, come on, man.
That's right. But
that's a big lift.
But Richard, I want to understand.
And of course I said, okay.
What type of food are we talking about? Vegetables. We're talking about herbs. We're talking about, because I'm seeing a few things over here. I'm seeing beans. I'm seeing black-eyed peas. So break it down for me. What type of food are we talking about?
We're talking about cucumbers, lettuce, broccoli, tomatoes, the microgreens and sprouts, the tulips, the marigolds, the kidney beans, the peas, the lentils. If it's a seed, it's going to react to minerals that are in rock, and if there's water there as well, you'll likely get a full-grown plant.
What I love about this is the potential to, going back to your story, to help those that may feel that you need a certain type of soil in order to grow a specific type of herb or food. Because when I think about the food scarcities that are happening around the world, and especially in neighborhoods and inner cities and everything else, this is when I'm thinking that this can benefit.
Oh, absolutely. Mankind, our scientists, we were not aware that rocks were unlimited mineral sources of potassium and nitrogen and phosphorus and calcium and magnesium, all the macro and micronutrients for plants were already in the rock. The rock is a 50 million year old mineral, because now we're combining parts of geology and parts of agriculture. And when you do that, you get this new thing.
That's right.
Well, the part of geology is that rocks are between 50 million and 4 billion years old, and they're solid minerals.
What about water? And what if there are limits to how much water is accessible? Because I believe there's water in rocks.
There's not water in rocks, okay? But rocks sweat under heat.
There we
and
go.
Creates moisture.
Okay.
So if you have air and heat and rock and a little depth and containment, then you can create moisture in the rock, because it wicks water out of the air naturally.
See, that's why this brother is an agricultural geologist, and he has that big title, because I did not know that, and I'm still learning this stuff. Geological agriculturalist, and I'm learning something, and I'm sure many people who are watching are learning this as well. Okay, what can I do? I'm at home, especially if I have a son or daughter, and they're interested in science and in this stuff. So what can I do, especially with recycled materials, to try to create one of these beautiful pieces of food and what I consider a work of art here?
Well, the thing is, what we did with our 25-year experience of growing plants and rocks indoors and outdoors is we put it all in the book. The rules of gardening are different. They're about 60% different with how you water, the root sizes, how you seed, how you harvest. So you got 60% differences in the rules. And so to cut down your time to understand it, not the same 25 years we went through, we put it in the book.
Good.
Indoor, at-home, do-it-yourself, DIY book that you should download from our website. If you try to buy it, you can get it off Amazon, true. But as soon as you get in that house and someone else knows it's there,
that's right,
it's gone. It's always gone. We always hear stories.
And it's in layman's terms, right?
It's gone. Yeah, it's in layman's terms.
Because, brother, you start talking, you start going up here. I don't understand, So you break it down for us in the book.
We break it down for regular people.
I have to ask you this. This is a way to improve nutrition in low-income areas that we just talked about, where they tend to be bombarded. They tend to be bombarded by fast food and food deserts. It can also be a business opportunity as well.
Yeah, because think about what we've done here. You already go to the farmer's market to buy plants, right?
That's right.
So, you can sell this at one rate with no plants in it. Just the supplies, this is a gallon container, you might sell it for $10.
Right.
But then if you, at home, you seeded it and watered it, and 2 weeks later, like 16 days later, you have all these kidney bean seeds, well, now you might sell this for $15, $20.
That's right.
You might sell it plus $1 per plant. And since the density of growth in rock is so much better than soil, roots grow short. So they don't need all that space.
Right.
Roots grow short because they just wrap around the mineral, aka rock, absorb that potassium and nitrogen out of that rock through water and grow the plants. And so you just need good light. So economically, you can take what is in essence trash.
Right.
You can take trash, plastic recycled containers, cut them up, and turn them into plant food for people that you can sell at the market rates. And you can use materials commonly found at the hardware store. That's where we want to get your rock from. People say, hey, where do you get your rocks from? Go to the hardware store, Home Depot. They got the goods. They got what you need.
I absolutely love it, brother. You have educated me. I'm sure you've educated many other people out there as well. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Yep. You see it. You can go grab this book. He said just download it. You could go online and do so. You see, go online. That's the website where folks can find you. www.tosoilless.com, not lesson. Tosoilless.com. TOSOILLESS.com. And then our nonprofit is the keep-inc.org out of Atlanta. If you want to give to GeoAg research, we do a lot of teaching with kids. We teach them, and then the kids draw what they grow, like these guys here. They grow them, teach it. We teach it in school, and the kids draw it. So it's a nice kid project. I love that,
for the kids to see it, grow it, eat what they grow, and then draw what they grow. And so it's a very cute engagement to do with the kids.
Brother,
so
I feel like I'm in school all over again because I'm learning something very special here. It's something new. Geological agriculturalist Richard Campbell, thank you for joining us on the show this morning, brother.
Thank you so
All
much.
success to you, man. And soon we're going to be reading about him and working with NASA. But we got to take care of us first.
Absolutely.
You got it.
GeoAg.